Okay, welcome to this webinar to introduce the new royalty portal, whether it's the morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you're logging in. So today there'll be myself, I'm Rodney Elder, and we'll also have available Russell Taylor, who's a lead technical architect at Biblio and is involved with the royalty portal development. So today we're going to cover what is the royalty portal, benefits, technology summary, have a system demonstration to show you how it operates, and then we're going to also look at opportunities for the future. And if you've got any questions, you can log them in the chat box and we can look to cover those at the end. So the royalty portal is an online platform for delivering royalty statements. Over the years, many people have said, can't we just email them? But for many privacy laws, the royalty portal for delivering secure statements has been the way that VirtuSales has needed to go. It's a standalone application, and we have a number of customers who are looking to go live with this in 2020. In terms of the technology, it's developed in .NET Core, and it's using Google Angular. It's got a responsive UI, so if any of the authors are logging in and they're logging in from their mobile or tablets, they'll be able to have a responsive UI to viewing information online. This is also using a new API suite that is going to communicate information and serve that up to the portal. So all the background information is being run in Biblio as normal, but then being served up to a secure portal with a secure logon. So why are so many publishers looking to do this? Well, I think most of us know that it's the amount of time spent in preparing and printing statements, folding paper, or even separating them and emailing statements, has a large cost. But it also reduces the cost of paper and postage in delivering statements. This is fully integrated to the Biblio suite. So when you're in the background and you're processing royalty statements, as you'll see during the demonstration, you're able to determine which payees will get electronic statements and which payees are going to still be receiving paper statements. It's available through the web browser and on a range of devices. And the other benefit is it supports their historical statements. So if you ever have authors ringing up and asking for previous statements, they'd be able to log online and be able to see those statements themselves. So some of the key features in this first phase is a secure platform. So authors will receive, or agents will receive, a logon that they can then go and access statements. They can have a preview, so they don't actually have to download statements, and they can choose to view per contributor, or they can actually have full statement packs per period. There is a search facility. So let's say, for example, an agent has a logon and they have 10 different authors that they are the agent for. They can actually then search through and find the specific people that they're looking for, or they could look at it for a specific period and download all the statements associated to that period. Once a user has, so there's a trigger that will go out of Biblio to ask them to log on and to register, and we'll look through that process in the demonstration. But then once they're registered and a new period has processed, the system will automatically generate an email that will go out and notify the payee that they've got new statements that are ready to view and that they should log on to the royalty portal. So there's nothing that the publisher has to do in terms of manually notifying anyone. The system will do it all automatically for them. One of the first customers who will be taking it is Quirk Books. I think the main thing for them was obviously improvement in efficiencies and decreasing costs, but also for them, a big thing was to reduce their carbon footprint. And so that was a driving force for them in determining that. So we're going to jump in and have a look at the software now. This is done by Krista Seeley.
To start off the system demo, we'll first of all demonstrate the royalty portal's functionality, and then move on to the new Biblio functionality, which will show how users and statements are approved for the royalty portal. The screen shown here is the login screen for the royalty portal. It has intentionally been modeled on the new login screen that will be launching as part of Biblio's new user interface. The customer logo is shown at the top, allowing the user to identify the portal with the publisher. And forgotten password functionality is included so that users can reset their password without contacting the publisher. In the future, two-factor authentication is expected to be offered. After login, the contracted parties listing screen is shown. This screen will display all parties or contributors that the user acts as the agent for. This is set up and maintained in Biblio. Images that have been uploaded against contributors in Biblio and stored in Biblio DAM will be pulled over via API to the royalty portal and displayed. There's also search as you type functionality, allowing the user to search by contracted party or account number. Once you click into a specific party, this screen will show all statements which have been approved by the royalty portal for this contracted party. For each statement, there's the option of viewing the statement inline the portal, or downloading a PDF file for later use. In addition to the contracted party statement listing screen, there's a statements pack listing screen. This screen allows a different option for accessing statement PDFs. Instead of listing statements for each contracted party individually, the screen will show statement packs for each period. Then there are the same functions for viewing, or downloading the royalty statements. This now concludes the royalty portal section of the demonstration. In the second half, we will walk through the new Biblio functionality and user registration process for the royalty portal. We'll start this part of the demo in the contacts module of Biblio on the new contacts royalties statement recipient screen. A new entity has been created in Biblio called Statement Recipients, and records on this screen represent users that will be able to log into the royalty portal, such as an employee of an agency. And this screen shows information relating to whether or not the created user exists on the royalty portal, and if they've completed their registration. To allow flexibility with the particular payees, you may want to move on to the royalty portal. We've introduced a new statement delivery method field. This field allows the user to decide whether a payee will be able to access their statements on the royalty portal. It's also possible then to select the statement recipient that will be able to log into the portal and view the statements for each payee. Now if we move into the royalties module, the new royalty run statement approval screen has been introduced to allow statements to be approved before they are available to view on the portal. There are various options for filtering the payees that will be shown for approval. For example, by period, by ledger, by beneficiary payee, or by status. The screen will list all applicable payees, that is, those where the statement delivery method is royalty portal and where statements are available within that period, along with tick boxes for approving statements to appear on the portal. By default, all tick boxes will be checked, and the screen that contains an Approve All button to allow large numbers of statements to be approved in one go for a period. It will also be possible to visit this screen for historical periods to approve older statements to appear on the portal. I've now selected my statement recipient, and I'm going to hit Approve. So for each selected payee, the following actions will be performed after that button is pressed. Their statement will be transferred to a BiblioDAM category. A user account will be created for them on the royalty portal via an API request, and an email will be sent to the user either asking them to register for the portal if this is their first interaction, or letting them know that further statements are available. The contents of the email sent to the user are fully configurable as required, and we would anticipate the email being sent from an email address associated with the publisher to avoid any concerns about spam. Within the email is a one-time link allowing the user to register for the portal. This one-time link contains a unique GUID that is used to identify the user and ensure an account can only be registered by following the link. After clicking on the link, the user will be asked to enter the details and a password to register their account. Passwords are validated so that they are 12 characters long and contain uppercase and lowercase characters. An additional email is then sent to the user asking them to activate their account for security reasons. This is to ensure the user has full access to the email account they signed up for. Similar to the previous email, the contents of this email are fully configurable, and clicking on the link within the email, which also includes a GUID unique to the user, will activate their account and allow them to log into the portal. After the user has activated their account, they'll be able to log into the portal and use the functionality as shown earlier.
Okay, great. So what's going to be next in terms of Biblio? The portal is going to definitely grow in terms of what people will do with this. What we wanted to do and where we've seen other attempts at doing portals have run into issues is where the scope of the portal grows drastically and people try and do too much with it too soon. So the main value is delivering the statements. So the portal delivers the statements very effectively and very simply. Moving forward though, there's going to be opportunities to utilize APIs and build communication tools that can then, authors could, for example, update photos, update contact details, which could then flow through and update Biblio directly. Another area which many publishers talk about regularly is, fillable forms and questionnaires that they send out to authors. These could be filled in using the portal and then have an API that is then written to update Biblio automatically, things like bios, addresses, things like that, so that you don't have to rekey this data in. Another area where we'll probably start to grow more and more will also then be things like sharing marketing plans, events, signing events. And then the other one, potentially, this is not 100% whether publishers actually want to do that, is displaying the actual sales data in there as well. So, for us, we know that this is going to be something that is growing and continually adapting and changing. But for this first phase, we're very excited with the functionality that it's delivering. So I'm just going to remind people as well that we've got a new website that's going to be launched next week. And this is just our current one, but if you visit our website and you do log in to the area of the website, you'll be able to access release notes, also videos, training videos, and webinar videos that we've done, just as a reminder.
Hi, Rod. So it's probably a good time to jump in and just a couple of questions on the Q&A for us to answer.
Great.
So the first of those comes from Ian and saying, where an author has an agent, can the author have their own login to the portal? And so to answer that, at the moment, it's only going to be for agents unless statements are going directly to those authors currently. Although I think we do anticipate talking to publishers, and if this is an area of interest, expanding into that area in future.
Okay.
And the second question is saying, is it possible to show the DAM category and the Biblio user perspective? Will all statements be available to all users with access to the DAM category regardless of client confidentiality? So I think the video showed some of the Biblio sort of user's perspective. And I think in terms of the DAM sort of category question, they'll really just appear in the DAM as normal assets. So it will just do it, the category in DAM will look as per normal. I think we probably need to delve a little bit further into the confidentiality side. So I'm not sure it's something we'll discuss too much yet, other than covering it via standard DAM securities. And also one more new question as well has popped up. Can we manually upload alternative statement versions to the portal if we had to edit the automated system ones? So this is not currently possible, but again, if it's of interest to people in future, it probably wouldn't be too much of an extension to allow that to be possible. And so that covers the questions. Unless anyone else wants to add to those.
All right, great. Well, really appreciate everyone's time. And if you have any further questions that come in, please let me know. We do have a few late entries here. How will recipient emails be added to a payee account? That's part of the implementation process for the portal, and it would be a data upload where you'd need to organize your email addresses and the appropriate payee account, and then they would be ingested into Biblio. And then we've got another one. Can you talk about timing between closing the period and making the statements available? Do you want to grab that, Russ?
I think Bonnie, maybe, would you mind jumping in there and maybe talking through that side of things?
Sure. So between closing the period and making the statements available is entirely under your control. So that approval screen is basically the gatekeeper for releasing portals statements to that portal. So it just gives you that time where between closing the period, where maybe you'd usually be stuffing envelopes or sending emails and you might be doing a final check, you can do that more electronically and then decide to approve it and send it out. There isn't any hard and fast rule about when you need to do that by, so it is under the publisher's control.
So you can close the period and then have a separate phase, which is, or a separate step, which is to push it to the portal.
Yep.
Yep, perfect. Is it possible to bulk upload recipients? It will be as part of the initial implementations. We're building an uploader that will allow you to do that and do that. So the biggest headache for publishers is actually trying to get the email addresses collated. Another question is, will the publisher get a copy of the emails going out for record? So is there a log of that currently, Russ, Bonnie?
Not of the actual emails that are sent out, because those emails contain effectively a unique link for the user to log in. So I think that's probably not something we'd want to record as such, and sort of then allow other people to get access to that login potentially.
Okay. There was another question, can contributor information be batch updated? Depending on sort of what we're talking about in updating information, there are some contact upload templates and other things, but Bonnie, is there a one for pay to update? I'm not sure if that's to update a number of, like say 50 different payees and you wanted to update a bunch of information.
We don't currently have a batch update functionality. No, we have a insert, like create new payees, but not currently for updating. Okay.
All right. Can that be set to automatically in terms of, Darren, is that for sending statements out automatically? If it is, basically you can batch approve, like, so you don't have to do one at a time. You can, you know, if you ran statements for say 1,000 payees, you could batch approve 1,000 statements to go out to the portal, if that's what we're doing. Yes, from approval to upload. Yeah, so once they're uploaded, you will put the emails in. You then will, when you trigger the next royalty run, it will then send out the statements. The user does have to register. So there has been some back and forth with customers about, you know, what happens if you send out an email to say, please register, and what happens if they don't register? And do you then resort back and have some sort of process to then send a paper statement for any of those who haven't registered? So there are still some questions, especially for the initial rollout for customers in terms of just, you know, will an author, what happens when an author doesn't register? Where is the data being pulled from in order to generate the statements on the royalty portal? That is coming from the Biblio royalty system. So the contract is linked to the titles. We then ingest the sales. We process the sales against the contract to produce then the royalty statements, which are then, if they are clicked for electronic delivery, will be sent to the portal. What happens if we need to fix or update any information after initially releasing statements on the royalty portal for authors to view? I mean, just on that one, I guess the functionality in Biblio for doing draft statements is where you can actually do all your checks and balances before it's triggered. So there's a lot of opportunity to fix things before. But if you had triggered the statements to be delivered, just like as in you'd printed out the statements and put them in a post and sent them out, what would you do to update those? It would essentially be the same process. And so Bonnie, you know, I'm not sure if you have any sort of anything to add there, if people make, if there's a problem with a statement that's already gone out, how do publishers best correct that?
Yeah, we have some upcoming functionality to be able to upload manual statements into Biblio. So it's auditable from the royalties user perspective, as well as on the portal. So that will be rolling out subsequently. So that should help with that kind of thing. And we need to kind of work out like whether or not we just add that over the top, or whether or not publishers will want us to kind of redact and remove the existing one if it's already been sent out. So something that's definitely in the future.
Yep. There was a question if the royalty system generating the statements isn't Biblio, can the portal still be used? Is there a way of uploading the royalty information to run in the portal? Currently, the answer is no, it's integrated. Will it be available in the future? Potentially, depending on what the demand is for that. But at the moment, it's integrated to the royalty and payees that are in Biblio. Where is data pulled from in order to generate the statement? Did I cover that? What is it? Update information. So, sorry, there's lots of questions coming through. Just making sure I've got that. In order to generate the statements, that's all in Biblio. Yep, sorry, I think we've covered those.
Yeah, I think we've covered everything, Rod.
All right, perfect. So really appreciate everyone's time. Thanks Russ, thanks Bonnie. And yeah, if you've got any questions, please contact your account manager, and we look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Thank you.